What's up, Honey Badger Nation? How's it going today? We're coming in hot. Got me and Al today. John's doing a kitchen table. I don't know if is he in Pittsburgh right now? Not sure where he's at.
Yep, they're in the Berg. It's a great event too. I went to the last one in Pittsburgh, and you've never been to Pittsburgh. It's actually, a super cool town.
It really is a cool city.
Yeah,
I like it a lot, dude. I love the topography, and it's just a neat city.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed my time there.
Yep. So, before we started off, I want to send our prayers out to our people out in Baltimore with that tragedy that happened this morning. Unbelievable. We hope that all our honey badgers are safe, all our EXP family safe, but that was an awful thing. So I want to send out some prayers to our Baltimore people. I'm assuming maybe you read about that or no?
Yep. I did.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's horrible. So prayers to Baltimore. And so you just got off a good call, I heard.
Jay? Yeah, just got off again, man. An agent new in the business. I mean, I let me read. This is all the stuff that she'd been trying. When I read this, I was like, man, this is why we do what we do right here. She's like, you started the industry in January with Sotheby's. I'm trying different things, open houses, mail it to my sphere, social media, neighborhood farming, join the moms group at church, asked the school across the street about joining the PTO board and reconnecting with past friends. When you're hungry and you're trying to figure it out, you try everything, right? And all of those things are, arguably things that she should be doing, but none of them are producing fruit, right? And so, that's the problem most agents have, not just doings. And so, something that's consistent and predictable, and, we can solve that problem for them. Not to mention, I know we'll get into this, but for those that haven't been on or wasn't on last Thursday's call, you got access to some of the best training in the industry with the certified home buying advisor designation, certified home selling advisor designations. Now more than ever, being able to articulate your value is critical. If all buyers agents are going to now have to sign an agreement with the consumer and agree on pay, you better be able to articulate your value. You should be collecting buyer representation agreements like we collect listings and be thinking about them the same way. They're valuable. And so, I'm excited about the change. A lot of people are all scared and whatnot. But you're literally here plugged into, everything that you need in order to navigate this, this change. And so make sure you're jumping on these calls because we're providing a lot of solutions that are done for you.
Yeah. What up, Travis? My boy, Travis Wright, still lighting it up in Lawton, Oklahoma.
Town.
Great call with him and his mom. He's already starting to leverage his business and get the low dollar per hour activities off his plate so he can focus on that high dollar per hour, high leverage activities. So good to see you, Travis. He's always plugged in. Success leaves clues, everybody. It leaves clues. They're on these calls. They're on Wally's calls on Thursdays. They're on Funnel Fridays. We see it. They're on our call on Monday, our mastermind agent attraction call. They're plugged in. They're all in. And guess what? They see results. And you kind of hit on something I'd like to go deeper on, which is the CHBA. I was just on a recruiting call. As a matter of fact, yesterday, 3-way call, guys at Keller Williams. He isn't unhappy there, but he just knows there's something missing. And I showed him like all of the training, from NAEA and all of the library of the goods, including most importantly, the CHBA, CHSA trainings. Showed him that. Showed him a little bit of the digital president stuff. The dude was blown away. He's like, I can't believe that you guys offer all this stuff for free. He's like, Keller Williams, they got some stuff, but they're trying to charge me every nickel and dime every time I turn around. And this dude's a new agent. He hasn't been licensed even 6 months. He's already got 12 deals under his belt. Like, this dude he's ready to run, right? And when I showed him all this, he was just blown away. And so I'm going to go ahead and, Yeah, man, let's go deep on that. See it, because you and I have been talking. You had mentioned something that it used to be, and it still is. Look, listings is where it's going to be, but we can't ignore that buy side. It's where more than half of the transactions for most teams come from, the buy side, and you're going to need to know it inside and out. And you had mentioned something. You said it's about, like, it used to be signing listings. Now it's going to be the same as signing buyer. How many buyer agency agreements can we get signed up? Go a little deeper on that.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the way we've always taught to do business. I mean, it's, I remember having, Adam Holland, who was, at the time was probably 19 or 20 years old, that joined my team, and he had, he followed the process. He pitched pitched the buyer to a presentation, gave them a presentation of value of, here's the services we provide, here's how we charge for them. We're going to ask the seller to pay for that. Is that okay for you? They always say yes, because they don't want to have to pay that fee. So, they would sign a buyer brokerage agreement. And then one of the buyers, he calls me up. I think I was at the office, and he was upstairs in his office. And he's like, man, one of my buyers is down the street at this other company writing an offer on a house that I showed him. So I called the agent and I said, listen, you can do whatever you decide to do, but we're going to come after that buyer for the commission. Now that that they signed a buyer brokerage agreement, it's your the right thing that, he should do if he doesn't want to end up in a arbitration or, a mediation meeting at the board, is send the buyer back down the street, which he did. And after that, he was like, why would anybody do it any other way? Like, he didn't do anything wrong. The guy just ended up at an open house, the same house he showed him, and didn't, just was going to buy it for somebody else because, the guy was trying to sell him. So, it's the best way to do business, period. Now you just have to. So, your value proposition, making your value visible. I always use that analogy. We talk about Flex Seal, right? Like, it's easy to demonstrate. Like, Flex Seal, when they cut out the bottom of a boat and they put a screen door on the bottom of it, and then they spray that shit on it, and then they drive it across the lake. You don't have to explain anything else to me. I know how that shit works now, right?
Yeah.
It's demonstration. That's easy to demonstrate. It is difficult to demonstrate all the things that you do to add value to the transaction on the real estate side. Like we've always said, if you're getting chosen, if they find a property and you're getting chosen second in the process, you're at risk of becoming irrelevant in this business. Is never more true than now. You better be able to articulate the value in a way that they see, they want your representation. Like we say, we want them to run buyers to run red lights to meet you and have you represent them. So, the new mindset should be, how many representation agreements are you getting signed? You're evaluating timing and motivation, and you're signing up the ones that are real, and you're collecting them no different than a seller that's reasonably priced that you list as a listing that you're potentially, have potential income when that listing sells by, getting buyer brokerage agreements and representation agreements signed. You're building up, your pipeline of buyers. But you're negotiating your fee up front. And so certainly it's the best way to do it. I think every contract moving forward is going to all have, some form of the buyer asking the seller in the contract to pay the commission. And that's, easy to negotiate up front. And, you can always have risk reversal. And, hey, if the seller won't pay it, we can talk about it. Or, hey, make your offer even better, would be, hey, listen, we guarantee we'll get the seller to pay our fee, or we'll charge you nothing. Now you've got a value proposition that there's no risk attached to. You might end up getting stuck doing one free. You might not. Most likely not. It'd be my guess. So just a lot of ways to think creatively, and I think a lot of people are going to stop focusing on buyers, like trying to get buyer leads and things of that nature, which is going to drive lead costs down. It's going to create more opportunity for those of you that try to focus on it. It's a change that needed to happen. I mean, we've said it for years and years and years. Like, the level of professionalism in this industry needs to be raised. And, NAR's never been able to do it because they got 1 million people in the organization, plus 1 million plus, and that's all voters, and that's how they get leverage, and that's how they get deals done in, and lobbying and for things that, kind of help the real estate industry. So they never wanted to raise the bar for the real estate industry and make the agent, really be a step above. And so there's all these average agents that just jump out of their car and show anybody a house anywhere without really even discussing who's representing who and how compensation is going to be paid, because it was in the MLS that they were going to get paid by the seller anyway. And so, this was a necessary thing to change. I think it brings up the professionalism in our industry, and those that commit to being positioned as a professional are going to do well. Those that do not will not do well. And that's it's probably going to weed out. We used to say, with that big triangle, remember we had, disruption. At the top is going to be the expert advisors, the true professionals of the business. Probably less than 10% of the agents will do the lion's share of the business. And, the agents, there'll be agents that are doing flat fee, showing fee type stuff. They'll sign agreements to show a property for $25 an hour. Probably there'll be all kinds of things where people are moving down by offering less value. And there's that. And then the middle is going to disappear. Those agents are going to no longer, no longer be around. And so, probably
I just thought about something.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the service called, I think it's called Shawami? Shawami.
I have not.
So Shawami is like the Uber for, showing homes, meaning, let's say you're a busy team leader, listing lots of houses, this and that. You got a buyer that you love these people. You don't want to give them to another person and refer it because they're close friends, whatever. You want to make sure they're taken care of. And you're out doing, another appointment, can't do it, but they want to see this house right away. You can go on this app, Shawami, pick an agent. And so someone said it's not allowed in Maryland. It's not allowed in every state, but it is in Ohio. That business model, I think, is going to have to they're going to go out of business, right? Because you could literally pick from an agent, say, hey, I need you to show my client this house at 123 Main Street at 4:00. Who can do it? Kind of like you're calling an Uber, but you're calling all the agents that are showing up they're signed up for Shawami to get paid $40 to go open up a door. This has been around for a while, right?
Right.
In fact, some agents have built their business model around it so they don't have to show houses. You know what I'm saying? And I thought it was actually pretty brilliant. It's a bit of a disruptor. I don't think you're able to do that at this point. I think that's like a service that these new rules, these new laws that we all have to abide is going to be going away. I posted, someone posted a great article by a guy named Budge Husky. You know Budge Husky?
Budge Husky. That name sounds familiar. Who is that?
I don't think he's from Oklahoma, but he sounds like he's from Lawton. Budge Husky. But I want to know this dude. But anyways, he wrote an amazing article. Someone posted it. I think Cindy posted it in Honey Badger Nation. Thank you, by the way, for doing that. Cindy Jenkins posted it earlier, late last night, I think maybe. And she wrote, it's the best article I've seen on the NAR settlement. Dude, you should read it. I posted it in the comments of this live in case someone doesn't want to go dig for it. But he makes some really good, just points that are just common sense. Hey, this is nothing new. And the one thing that he said was commissions have always been negotiable, always. Mm-hmm. And so what's everyone up in arms about, right? So our buddy here in Lawton ran into a situation where he was showing a house. It was like a $600,000 home somewhere in the Lawton area or whatever. And it was a $1 commission or a zero, no commission offered or $1 or something. Right. And so people get freaked out and they're like, oh my gosh, well, everything's negotiable. So what if it's $1? You have your fee, right? And you're asking, if you're doing this correctly, according to how we teach you and coach you in the CHBA, you're going to be asking that buyer for permission to negotiate your fee for the seller to pay it on behalf of you. And they're going to say yes I've never had someone say, no, Al, I don't want you negotiating your fee to have the seller pay it. No, they're going to say yes every single time. So, my point being is, there's nothing to be afraid of. It will be a little bit challenging. There's going to be some challenging negotiations. Sure. Get better. Just get better.
Yeah. It's that simple.
Man, I mean, how many for sale by owner appointments did you go on, Jay? before you got so good at it, dude.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. I got my ass handed to me a lot before I got good. That's for sure.
I mean, how many times have we gone and knocked? I mean, I would knock on a door of expireds because everyone else would mail expireds in my market. And I'm like, I could beat the mail. So I would just go that morning before any of the postcards and all the mail got there. I'm knocking on the door. Hey, I want to earn your business. And I got, doors slammed in my face. I'm never going to list again, all that stuff. But I just went and did it again and did it again and did it again until I just got good. It wasn't because I was smart. It was because that really any monkey can learn how to do this. This isn't rocket science. We're not learning algebra and geography or geometry or political science or any of this stuff. It's just simple building a relationship, building a skill, having some thick skin, and willing to fail a bunch of times until you get so good that it becomes a fun game. You remember when it clicked, Jay? Like when all of a sudden it was like, holy shit, I'm good at this. Like I just got, like it'll click.
First thought was like, holy shit, that worked.
Yeah.
And it was like, after that, I was like, oh my gosh, I just have to do this one. If I can just do that 2 times a week, what opportunities here.
Yeah.
But you get to a point where you're like, man, that sounded really good, and it doesn't start that way, but you know that you're onto it at that point.
Right. I mean, I think the thing that I used to tell myself is, what do I have? What is the worst that can happen right here? Mm-hmm. I get told no, bummer, I lost out on it, whatever. Who cares? You need to get your ego over that and keep your eye on mastery, because that's all we're working toward right now. That repeated repetition builds skill. We all know that. And then what we're looking for is that level of mastery. And I smile when I say that, because you will smile too.
Yeah.
When it clicks and you're like, you could do buyer appointments in your sleep. Like I would not be meeting face to face with any buyer at first. I would be meeting with them on a Zoom, period. I'm not going to waste their time. They're not going to waste my time. If I'm able to articulate my value and earn their business, cool. Then we can spend some time together. If not, it's okay, because I got 5 others that are waiting in the wind over here, right? And that's the way you have to think about your pipeline. You can't get hung up over one deal, one transaction. So good stuff. All right. I don't see any other questions I got to cut it short today. Got an appointment I got to run out to, but Jay, anything else you want to kind of cover? Anything that we got going on here?
No, man, we've got coming in the next probably week, a huge announcement and providing some solutions and some lead gen for agents. So excited about that. Be on the lookout for that. It's going to be pretty fantastic. And anything we can do to help us, let us know.
Sweet.
All right, y'all.
Good stuff, dude.
Have a great day.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Yep.